It's the SKOR North Twins Show.
SKOR North Twins Show. Hit the like button and subscribe button here for Minnesota Twins content. Twins took a split with Cleveland on Wednesday, playing something like 15 innings. It was at the ballpark for like 7 hours. It was a long day at the yard. I was at least enclosed. I was enclosed, and I was also enclosed.
Yeah.
So that also helped. But Twins took a split against Cleveland, Judd. I think at the end of the day, you probably take that when you have to play 2 games in a day.
Yeah. I mean, they came back and won. The first game would have been a bad loss because Duran blew the save. That would have been a bad loss, but your guy, Cody Clemens, got the huge hit to win that one. The second one, I think, it was just a split. I will say this, though. I don't love when you're watching on TV as I was, and you could see that the warning track is just soaked.
Yeah, it was.
I don't love continuing to play. You are jeopardizing. We already have enough problems in this sport, or in all sports, keeping guys healthy. Harrison Bader's out there with a bad groin already. I understand they wanted to complete the game. I don't love continuing to play the game in that situation, though. I think you're asking for problems.
I thought they were going to call it after 5 when it was really pouring. I thought they were just going to call it, but they didn't. They played on.
It was still raining in the 7th, and I was thinking to myself, I would probably I'd delay it for, whatever you need to delay it for before you can officially call it. But whatever. Yep, a split's not bad. I agree.
All right, so I'm going to give you a Dex plan here. I know it's a little awkward because they only have one more home series, and they're going to be on the road for a long time here coming up. So
Team bonding.
I'm going to give you a 13-game Dex plan.
All right, I'm getting the schedule called up myself so I can follow along.
So 4 teams in this Dex plan. You'll play the Royals for 3. You'll play Tampa for 3. You'll play Seattle for 3. And then Oakland for 4. Oakland started out hot, but now has been hitting the skids.
In Sacramento, too. That's going to be some hot bait. That Thursday, 2:35 start, which is, 12:35 in Sacramento? Scorcher!
Oh, yeah. I'm going to guess, number one, I don't think the travel budget will allow a trip to Sacramento, and I also don't know if the press box can hold more than one opposing media member there either. I have no idea. Isn't there there was a shack or almost like how the Ryder Cup did those auxiliary press boxes everywhere? I think that's where they do the interviews for players and coaches.
Oh, a tent?
Yeah, like a tent.
That's been done before. Yeah. When the Arizona Cardinal football team played at ASU Stadium, they had ancillary trailers for locker rooms, and outdoor press conferences. So yeah, this is not. But yeah, I would say if the SKOR North Twins Show's travel budget was a thing,
include Sacramento.
I would probably leave Sacramento off my list of destinations.
I met a nice couple during one of our things at Blackstack that were from Sacramento. That came in, that were in town to see us talk Vikings, and they asked, "Are you coming out when the Twins play the Athletics?" And I said, "I'll have to check with upper management on that one."
And this is not just to be very, very clear. I have never been to Sacramento, so I don't know. It's not a dig at Sacktown. It's a dig at playing in a minor league ballpark for 3 years, which is completely Bush League.
It is.
I digress. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, so let's start here with the first team on the Dex plan. Again, a 13-game plan. Start with Kansas City.
Okay.
Big-time weekend series here against these Kansas City Royals. The Twins lost 3 of 4 already to Kansas City. Those games were low scoring. They were close games. No one scored more than 4 runs. I believe 2 of them were 1-run games. I'm more willing this than I am saying it's going to be easy. They have to take 2 of 3 from Kansas City. They have to win this series.
Putting pressure on
them. I almost thought about saying to sweep them because even 2 of 3, you're still behind it in terms of tie-breaking situations, and that means it puts even more pressure on the next series. A sweep would make things a little easier. But Kansas City, they're scuffling now over their last 10 games or so. Their pitching is phenomenal. They have the second-best ERA in baseball. Their starters are awesome. They have 25 quality starts. That's also the second most in baseball. But here's the thing. If you can just contain Bobby Witt, that offense is awful. 1 through 9, that offense, the depth, I should say, in that offense is not good. We know Bobby Baseball is one of the most exciting players in baseball. Vinny Pascantino is also having a solid year. I mean, and that was the story last year with their offense. It was those two dudes kind of carrying them. Salvi in his career has kind of been a Twins killer, but he's up there in age.
He loves to hit the long ball at Target Field, though.
Yeah. So I think you can take 2 of 3, but it's going to be grinds. It's going to be, again, those 4-3, 3-2, 2-1 type games. I'd be very shocked if a team scores more than like 5 or 6 runs throughout the course of a game this weekend.
It does help that on the 17th of May, KC put Cole Reagans and Seth Lugo both on the IL.
Yeah.
So you're getting a little bit of a pitching break there, which is nice. But yes, I think 2 of 3 is a very responsible prediction.
Responsible. Yep. You also have the pitching matchups for Minnesota. Pablo on Friday, Pablo Day. Zebby on Saturday, and then Bailey Ober on Sunday. So you got 2 of your 3 guys. Like, wouldn't be surprised at all if Zebby. But that's also a big start for him. Like, that's a big confidence booster if he can go out there and get his first win of the season.
And Festa, so he skipped his last start with shoulder fatigue, but he's scheduled now to make his next start. So, and if Festa comes back strong and Zebby does not pitch well, I think you're guaranteed a flip-flop there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. They might give Zebby a little more. It depends on how it depends on how he looks. Because he got pulled after. They just gave him 2 times through the order. He had 3 innings in Milwaukee, and they're like, "We're good, get out."
Yeah, he didn't look, but he also he got off to a great start and then didn't look great. So
yeah, but that's also kind of Festa. Festa's really good. Yeah. Festa's nasty the first time through an order, and then he can get hit.
Arm fatigue does worry me a little bit too. Let's be very clear. I don't like arm fatigue. Not right now. Like if it's late July, August, it's like, oh, okay, sort of. But this seems very early for an arm fatigue situation that isn't that there's not something else that they're concerned about with why his shoulder or arm is tired.
Okay, so next series at Tampa Bay at the Trop.
No, it's not. It's at the Yankees.
Oh, that's right. It's at the damn other
minor. It's another minor league ballpark.
The Trop. The Trop was on my mind because I asked Rocco yesterday, and I said, okay, days like today, do you miss the Trop? And he said, absolutely not. I do not miss the Trop. Even with the rain, he's like, no, I do not miss the Trop.
Trop was a piece of piece of crap. Now I did see though that the parts for the roof are scheduled to start to arrive from overseas in August.
Oh my gosh. So 3 games in likely nice weather, outdoor stadium.
Or you get rained on for half of it, and then
that's true. I haven't looked at the weather. Okay, I'm gonna ask for a big thing here. I'm asking for a sweep against Tampa Bay. I'm asking for a road sweep here at a somewhat neutral site, but I'm asking for a sweep here against the Tampa Bay Rays. They're 23-26. No one on that team necessarily excites me. I think if you're going to sweep anyone here, I think it's Tampa Bay. You'll see what I do against Seattle here coming up afterwards. But there's nothing really impressive about them. I like the Twins' chances to actually go in there and potentially get a sweep. I know that's a lot to ask for teams right now, but I think the Twins have a shot here to go into Tampa Bay, get a sweep, feel really good on the road. Pitching matchups for that is Joe Ryan, and again, scheduled pitching matchups. Joe Ryan on Monday, Chris Paddock on Tuesday, Pablo on Wednesday. So again, you get Pablo and Joe in 2 of those 3 games. Paddock yesterday he scuffled, and I very appreciated his answers about this. He became really inside his head yesterday. He said, I was missing spots, and I kept tunnel visioning on why I'm missing spots. Then you start thinking too much on the mound. It makes for bad results. He didn't pitch terribly yesterday by any means. But I appreciated that insight. But with Pablo and Joe going, I think the Twins can get us, if they're going to sweep anyone in this Dex plan, I think it's Tampa Bay.
Chris Paddock is very, very thoughtful.
He is. He's an awesome guy to talk to.
Yeah, but I mean, he also he seems like a good guy, but he also is very thoughtful. Like it's funny though because he's got this sort of cowboy like you wouldn't expect that guy to have that personality, but
sure.
He was not great. I will give him this though. He also sort of got through it,
Yeah, he weathered it.
I feel like in April he don't get through that. He just gets hit hard. So I give him credit. I need to see more, and I think that I still think that there's a discussion around him. But yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I guess the key is how do you get out of that cycle if it does start though, as far as the tunnel vision cycle.
Okay, so 2-3 against KC, a sweep against Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Dex math here. That's 5-1. That's 5-1 so far on this plan.
Yep, I got you.
Off day on the Thursday before they travel to Seattle. Okay, I had the Twins losing this series and dropping 2 of 3.
That's a long flight, by the way.
Yeah, Tampa to Seattle. I think it's the longest you can take.
That's not a great back to or road trip to road trip. Okay,
Right.
so 2 of 3 here.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry,
losing.
1 of 3.
Yeah,
One of
losing
three,
2 of
I'm
3,
sorry.
winning 1 of 3, however you want to phrase it.
I got you.
Seattle can pitch, man. They have some of the best pitching. Last year, the Twins were really good against Seattle, which was awesome. Like that pitching is no joke. Their offense has figured things out a little bit here. Finally, they're top 15 and top 10 in a lot of major offensive categories, which is good for the Mariners. You know, they're 3.5 games up in the West. I love when Seattle's a fun team to watch. They pitch really well. That fan base deserves success. I just think with the cross-country flight, to your point, even though you get an extra day of rest on the off day, I think that pitching's really good, that team's really good, and if you're going to drop a series to anyone, it's this one. So I do have the Twins losing 2 of 3 at Seattle.
So you've got them 6-3, is that correct?
Yes, 6
On the Dex plan?
on the Dex plan. On the Dex plan here.
I got a feeling the bounce back is coming.
Do you? Because you're right.
Just a
4 games against Oakland. And right now, so Oakland got off to a really nice start. They were kind of shocked, everyone. Like, oh, the Athletics are throwing a bleep you back to Major League Baseball. Well, now they've lost, I think, 8 in a row.
Yes.
It's a competitive division in the West. Like, the Athletics lost 8 in a row. Now they find themselves in the bottom. The Angels have won 6 in a row out of complete nowhere. But if you can go in there, Judley, and win 3 of 4, not even take the split, which I don't think you'd be upset about a split there. Can you take 3 of 4 against that Oakland team, who right now is skidding a little bit? Their pitching has fallen off. They got some really good bats. Brent Rooker having another a big power season, former Twin prospect. But can you take 3 of 4 from Oakland, which would wrap up a Dex plan 3.0 of 9-4?
Okay.
Can you go 9-4 over these next 13 games? So that would be 2-1 against Kansas City, 3-0, a sweep against the Rays, dropping a series in Seattle, and then Oakland 3-1. Can you go 9-4? Also, I will say, because this has happened numerous times in the Dex plan, just because I gave you the 4 results of 4 different series, I usually don't care how the 9 wins hits. You know, if there's a skid involved, but then there's a winning streak on the other end of it, I'm mostly okay with it. So, long-winded way, can you go 9-4 somehow, no matter the combination, over these next 13 games?
So there might be a chance that you would need like 2 of 3 against the M's.
Right.
If they sputter, I don't know, in Tampa Bay or something like that.
Yeah.
So if they do this, what's your prediction on? So they are as of this morning. We're recording this on Thursday. 5.5 games behind the Tigers, who continue to play great baseball.
Yeah.
Casey also 5.5 back. If they go 9-4, what's your prediction on gaining ground now? Because they definitely gained ground on KC and Cleveland, but it remains difficult to gain ground on the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, so the Tigers over these 13 games, they're going to beat up on some division teams. They got 4 home against Cleveland starting today. There are 3 at home against San Francisco, and then at 3 against Kansas City, at 4 against Chicago. So they have a nice division stretch here. I know this is a very lame way to go about things, but if you go 9-4, just control what you can control and don't worry too much about the scoreboard watching quite yet.
Oh yeah. I just think Detroit's going to hit. Like Detroit's playing great, but they're going to hit a rough spell of sorts. Like I think that you could, if you win 9 of 13. I think you can put yourself. I think you can gain at least a couple of games, if not more.
I don't. Here's my thing, though. I don't think that's going to happen over this next stretch for them.
Okay.
Cleveland had lost 5 in a row before yesterday. I mean, they're pesky, but I don't expect them to have problems against Cleveland.
Right.
San Fran's a good team, but Detroit's been better. They got at 4 at Chicago. That should be 3 of 4 for them. They are in Kansas City for 3, so we'll see. If you go 9-4, right? The Tigers, even if they went in a similar stretch, a few games less than them, like it's going to be hard for the Twins to like gain up a lot of momentum. So I would actually be more, and I know the division teams are playing each other a lot while the Twins wrap up after this Kansas City series. I'd be more happy with Kansas City and Cleveland being distanced from the Twins than I necessarily am the Twins catching Detroit over the 13 games.
I hear you.
There's some math in there that, old Dex Tweets is not going to get completely into for obvious reasons. But Detroit's been awesome, dude. They're the best. They're probably the best team in the American League right up there.
How
at
about
the Yankees.
Baez? In center
Bobby
field,
Baez has been great. Spencer Torkelson's been great. Riley Green's been great. Yeah, they're a good team, man. I will say they're probably going to be because they have a solid 1-2 with Skubal and Flaherty, but they're gonna need another starter. Like there's a drop. Casey Mize, I know, is like their number one other role. Maybe he emerges here, but they probably need at least one more starter to be probably taken seriously in the postseason.
Fair enough. Well, that's not bad. I
9
think
and
you
4?
would take. I think if you're Baldelli and the boys, you would on one homestand left and then 3 road trips. If you win 9 of 13, I think you feel pretty good about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Some injury updates and some other musings here, but a shout out to AFSP. So we're looking to raise awareness for an important cause, and suicide tends to affect the construction industry. We all can play a part in saving lives. You can join them for their Construction Hype for Hope on Saturday, May 31st at the Legends Crossing at Vikings Lake. Go to afsp.org/MN Construction to learn more. And shout out to Grandpa's Barbecue. It was Barbecue Day last week. And good old Grandpa's Barbecue, which is got some great blends. They have dry rubs. They have sauces. Every Twin Show listener also gets free shipping on orders of $40 or more when you go to grandpa'sbarbecueshop.com. Plus, all proceeds benefit xeroderma pigmentosum, which is a rare genetic disorder that causes life-threatening issues when exposed to UV light in the form of sunlight and other LED lights. So your proceeds also go help a great cause. Go to Grandpa's Barbecue Shop to stock up on all those great supplies. Some injury updates. So Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, concussion list. Sounds like Correa is closer than Buxton. He has passed a lot of the initial stuff. He's been able to do baseball activities. I would envision Correa maybe joining them this weekend at some point. That's a guess, by the way. I'm not. That's not what I have heard. But with him being ahead of Buxton in schedule, there could be a path where maybe Correa rejoins the Twins this weekend. Buck, I don't know, man. With a history of concussions, and I know Nick Paparesta, the Twins trainer, talked about migraines being a thing. When a guy who has a history of them suffers another one, you got to be much more patient. But Correa progressing ahead of Byron Buxton and returning to the Twins.
Yeah, no, I did see that they did say that Buxton, I think, is in the batting cage, correct? So he's doing some work. But yeah, I mean, 4 or 5 concussions. Going back to that AA one, he suffered in what was that 2014 or something with the New Britain Rockcats. That was a brutal collision. He has definitely had. Yeah, I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about it because much like with Morneau, much like with Joe Mauer, you can't say definitively when the effects are going to pass. Yeah. Like and I saw that Paparesta talked about getting the heart rate up and stuff like that, and that's the problem. Is like a guy can feel fine, and then he gets the heart rate up, right, and he's doing baseball activities, and it doesn't feel fine. So yeah, I am definitely concerned, but safe to say that Carlos will be on the plane to Florida, right?
I would
like that would seem logical, if nothing else.
I think so.
And I don't mind Brooks Lee at short.
Yeah, Brooks has been fine at short. He's a solid shortstop.
Not gonna lie, don't mind Brooks Lee at short one bit.
But yeah, Bader. I mean, Kersey, great fielder. The bat is just it's not there.
Well, you need your guys back. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Like you are. Some of these things are great stories, but you need your guys back at some point in time. And look, you're going to get guys hurt, but I mean, Byron Buxton being healthy, and I know he strikes out a ton. I almost don't care at this point. Was such an advantage. So yeah, Kersey and Bader doesn't play as much center now because of the groin. So Kersey plays center. Like Kersey's a guy that should not be penciled into the lineup card on any regular basis. He's great as a replacement, defensive replacement. He's great, a guy that can come in and pinch run. But yeah, I am in complete agreement with your assessment.
Matt Wallner was supposed to DH for the Saints yesterday and lead off. I believe the 13th rainout for the St. Paul Saints
just
yesterday.
Cancel these games. Don't play a double. I said they're going to play one on Saturday. Just don't. Just cancel games.
I don't think they're going to do that, but
they did one. They did one. They bagged for they just crossed it off.
Yeah.
Like it's AAA. Bag the game. But anyway,
they need to make their own gate and all that stuff. But Matt Wallner getting close to returning. I also think if things go well, he could rejoin the Twins maybe in Tampa Bay or potentially Seattle next week. So that's also good.
Good. So does he return as a right fielder or probably the DH since it's a hamstring?
A little bit of both. Depends. They have. I mean, that's the good option. They can DH a lot of different guys.
Yeah.
So it creates good flexibility there. But if Correa comes back and Wallner comes back, so I think Kersey would potentially go out there, go down.
Okay.
If Wallner came back.
Okay.
And then on the infield side, this is it tougher? Am I making this more difficult than I have to be? But is it Jonah Bride being DFA'd? Trying to figure out the path of who would be sent down. They're not sending down Cody Clemens. So
with the way he's gone.
when Correa and Wallner come back, that's 2 extra roster spots.
Yeah.
That makes things a little. There's going to be probably
Jonah Bride's actually been pretty good for him,
and he's been very solid. I don't really want to DFA him either.
I think he'd be claimed now.
That's
I don't know that you are. I think it's look, I mean, if Jonah Bride gets claimed, it's not like your year is done or something. So I don't want to oversell this.
Ryan Fitzgerald.
Okay.
He goes. There it is. I knew I was missing. I was like, there's got to be someone I'm
missing.
There you go.
Here. Then Jonah Bride's fine.
So Jonah Bride stays. So if that were to happen, Ryan Fitzgerald would be sent
Goes
down.
back down.
Then I would. Oh, and you could keep Kersey and send down Carson McCuster too, when Wallner comes back. So there's a path where Kersey does.
I'm looking at the roster right now. Yeah, you know what? Yes, because I do think that they value what Kersey brings.
Yeah, they like it a lot.
You just don't want him to play a lot, but I mean, he definitely has. Yeah, you know what? Fitzgerald and McCusker would definitely be gone.
This is why you pull up the active roster before making the roster.
It's the Twin Show. You're in charge of the Twin Show.
Because I bet
Can you look it up? See, you don't look anything up anymore.
I bet there was probably a 2-minute run there where listeners screaming, Ryan Fitzgerald, Carson McCusker, what are you talking about?
Ryan Fitzgerald.
And then I saved myself some YouTube comments there as well. One more note before we wrap up here on the SKOR North Twin Show. Your Slap D, I'm not going to use the full one. Slap D prospect update. Gabriel Gonzalez, remember him? He was in the Jorge Polanco trade, who, by the way, is tearing it up with the Seattle Mariners. Polanco
great year. Good for him.
Did I see, by the way, he was pinch hit for also Mitch Garver, speaking of twin-on-twin damage. There was a thing late in the game the other day. I saw people just ripping the Mariners for it. They pinched hit Jorge Polanco, a switch hitter, for Mitch Garver, and then Garver struck out in 4 pitches, or I don't know what the hell.
I didn't see that. The last time I looked, though, Garver's been awful.
He's been terrible.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe it was Garver was up and Polanco had a day off or something.
But if they did that, then it shouldn't be ripped. Mitch Garver, let's see if I can find him quickly here. Mitch Garver, slash line right now, 219, 352, 274, 626 OPS. He has 1 home run, 7 RBIs. I don't think he's going to be there much longer. He might not. Mitch might be gone by the time the Twins get to town.
It's true.
Poor Mitch.
So Gabriel Gonzalez and Justin Topa, who actually has been solid. Justin Topa's been solid in the bullpen. I don't think he's the highest leverage guy, but he's an option for you. But Gabriel Gonzalez was kind of the prize of that trade from the Twins, so he scuffled last year at Double-A. So the Twins started him at high A ball this year, and he got off to a great start. He's only 21. Like I thought maybe he was older. He's only 21 years of age. He had a 900 OPS. He was hitting 319. He just got promoted to Double-A. And in 2 games, he has a couple hits there. So Gabriel Gonzalez now slowly climbing the system. A good little showing after a rough 2024 for a Twins prospect.
Excellent. Yeah, because he definitely was the prize. I mean, Topa was an arm, and I think that the hope initially at the trade was that he wouldn't be hurt constantly, which he's not now. But no, that's a definite. The Twins definitely have some potential talent kicking around the system.
I think so. He right now, and I think they updated these. So he's the Twins' 17th ranked prospect. Gabriel Gonzalez is. I think he was a fringe top 10 guy last year, so he fell down the board from organizations.
Earn it back.
That do it. So yeah, good for him. That he's hitting the ball pretty well. All right, that's your Dex plan. That's your injury updates. That's your
that's our roster assessment.
Muddled
which was
roster
shaky,
assessment.
Very shaky.
Okay, I was there for like 8 hours. Yes, I was a lot of stuff going on.
I hope you got a good night's sleep.
I did actually. I was in bed. I don't do this. I was probably asleep in bed by 10 p.m. That very rarely happens. Very rarely happens, and slept like a log all night long.
Good for you.
And then tomorrow, I will head to the ballpark for access. I got some things I want to ask some people about. I want to get some information. Ryan Jeffers swinging a really good bat. I want more info there.
Back to a torpedo bat.
Probably is the torpedo bat.
According to Provis, he's back to a torpedo bat. So
I'm going to ask him some stuff about hitting, hopefully. And then Chris Paddock, too. That changeup's been really effective for him. And again, just the mindset there. I kind of want some more intel. So some extra innings content. We'll have something tomorrow. Are you going to go to Royce Lewis bobblehead day on Saturday? Is that the plan?
That's my plan.
That's your plan? Well, we got Wolves.
Spend the whole day there.
Yeah, you could. Then
I'll have the Wolves at 7:30. I can't leave the ramp once I park. Too expensive. Can't go back and park.
Once you're there, you're locked in. You're absolutely locked in. If you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twins Show. Extra innings content coming at you this weekend.